I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
Democrats in the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
So when I was fired the last time from this show, people say to me, were you okay with that? And my answer is, I was happy.
Daytime television has been utterly upended by a scandal of epic proportions, a genuine bombshell that has left audiences and industry insiders in a state of disbelief. Joy Behar, the ever-opinionated and often polarizing co-host of The View, now finds herself trapped in a raging controversy, facing accusations that threaten to obliterate her decades-long career and potentially plunge her into severe financial hardship. Did she finally overstep a boundary from which there's no return? Is this the unforeseen collapse of a daytime TV mainstay? Hold on tight, because the narrative that's about to unfold is packed with stunning surprises and unexpected turns. And incredibly, this drama is only just getting started.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
It all began under the guise of routine debate, seemingly innocuous, during a typically spirited segment on The View. The day's hot topic, the ascent of rising Republican figure Karoline Leavitt, recently named White House press secretary. In a fleeting moment that would detonate a national uproar, Joy Behar delivered a pointed remark about Leavitt that quickly became broadly condemned as deeply inappropriate. Instead of addressing Leavitt's professional background and relevant experience, Behar appeared to dismiss her achievements entirely, suggesting shockingly that Leavitt's appointment was merely a consequence of her physical attractiveness. The phrase alluding to Leavitt getting the job solely because she's a 10, as Behar reportedly implied with a dismissive tone, landed with the impact of a physical blow. In the immediate aftermath, studio audience members reacted with audible gasps of shock, and her fellow co-hosts displayed visible signs of discomfort and unease. However, this was just the initial flicker. What followed was exponentially larger than a mere awkward on-air moment. It ignited a cascading sequence of events that no one in that studio could have possibly foreseen.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
The burgeoning scandal rapidly transcended the confines of social media feeds, aggressively invading mainstream news cycles and dominating headlines nationwide. Major news organizations rigorously dissected Behar's contentious remarks, repeatedly broadcasting clips of the inflammatory moment across various platforms. Prominent primetime news anchors openly questioned whether Behar had finally crossed an irretrievable line, inflicting irreparable damage not just on her own personal standing, but also on the overall credibility and reputation of The View itself. This intense and unrelenting media scrutiny served to amplify the already substantial public outcry, and very quickly corporate advertisers began to acutely feel the mounting pressure. Corporate sponsors, increasingly wary of being publicly linked to such a highly toxic and volatile controversy, initiated a swift exodus, pulling their substantial advertising budgets and sponsorships from The View in droves. This sudden and significant financial blow plunged ABC, the broadcast network responsible for airing the show, directly into a state of full-fledged crisis management. Network executives frantically mobilized, scrambling to effectively contain the spiraling fallout, acutely aware that this situation was escalating beyond a mere public relations misstep and rapidly transforming into a potential financial catastrophe. The long-term viability of The View, a daytime television institution for countless years, suddenly appeared deeply precarious and uncertain, and just when it seemed the situation could not possibly worsen, a legal earthquake was about to strike, adding a terrifying new dimension to the unfolding drama.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on looks?
Karoline Leavitt is the press secretary at the White House, doing a great job. Such a great job that the ladies of The View feel the green monster coming upon them.
However, the unfolding narrative was far from reaching its conclusion. Karoline Leavitt, the direct target of Behar's widely condemned comments, demonstrated unequivocally that she had no intention of allowing the matter to simply fade away. Choosing not to issue a perfunctory statement or adopt a passive, conciliatory posture, Leavitt reportedly opted for a considerably more assertive and confrontational strategy. Individuals with close proximity to Leavitt indicated that she felt profoundly insulted and resolutely determined to hold Behar accountable to the fullest extent for what she perceived as deliberately malicious and demonstrably defamatory statements designed to undermine her professional standing. In a move that reverberated throughout the entertainment industry with seismic force, Karoline Leavitt officially filed a staggering $50 million defamation lawsuit directly targeting Joy Behar. Leading legal experts swiftly offered their professional opinions, suggesting with conviction that this case had the potential to become one of the most financially significant and closely watched defamation trials in the entire history of daytime television. Should Behar ultimately be unsuccessful in defending herself, the ensuing financial ramifications would be utterly devastating, but perhaps even more profoundly damaging and enduring would be the inescapable public humiliation and the very real possibility of an abrupt and ignominious end to her lengthy and previously illustrious career. Nevertheless, the unfolding drama was poised to escalate to an entirely unforeseen level of intensity, transcending the confines of courtroom proceedings and veering into a realm of truly shocking and unexpected events.
Karoline Leavitt, she's just 27 years old, but boy, was she giving it to the Trump haters in her first White House briefing.
They really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked for the role.
As the dawning prospect of a protracted legal battle loomed on the horizon and the relentless pressure from public opinion continued to mount exponentially, Joy Behar reportedly began to experience a palpable sense of being cornered and overwhelmed. Sources intimate with the situation suggest she became increasingly consumed by anxiety and paranoia, acutely fearing not only the imminent threat of financial ruin, but also the prospect of irreversible and complete public disgrace and social ostracization. According to unverified but widely circulated reports, it was within this state of intense panic and perceived desperation that Behar allegedly conceived a truly audacious and ill-conceived plan. Driven by an overwhelming fear of facing the severe legal consequences and the crushing weight of widespread public condemnation, Behar is said to have hastily arranged a one-way flight to Italy, her ancestral homeland, seemingly seeking refuge and escape from the escalating turmoil. Was she genuinely attempting to flee the jurisdiction of the United States to evade the mounting legal challenges and the relentless public fallout? That is precisely the conclusion reached by law enforcement officials who were actively monitoring the situation in a truly dramatic and almost unbelievable sequence of events. As Behar attempted to board her international flight, she was intercepted by a coordinated team of TSA agents and law enforcement officers directly at the departure gate within the bustling airport terminal. In full view of scores of astonished travelers and onlookers, Joy Behar was reportedly placed in handcuffs, visibly distressed, and escorted away from the scene. Disturbing videos and incriminating photographs documenting the highly public arrest rapidly proliferated across online platforms, instantly propelling the already explosive scandal to international news outlets and dominating global headlines. The stark and humiliating images were ubiquitous, and the reputational damage inflicted was undeniable and seemingly irreparable.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job. Maybe. But my point is that job would not maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Facing an unprecedented public relations nightmare and a rapidly spiraling crisis, ABC, the broadcast network responsible for The View, found itself with no viable alternative but to respond decisively and with extreme haste. Within mere hours of Behar's widely reported airport arrest, the network issued a terse and unambiguous official statement formally announcing that Joy Behar was no longer affiliated with The View, effectively terminating her long-standing contract and severing all ties. This abrupt and decisive action sent immediate shockwaves throughout the Hollywood community and ignited a fierce and deeply divisive debate across the entertainment landscape. A vocal contingent of commentators and prominent celebrities swiftly rallied to Behar's defense, vehemently decrying what they characterized as yet another egregious instance of cancel culture spiraling out of control and unjustly punishing individuals for relatively minor transgressions. They passionately argued that that her spoken words, while perhaps poorly chosen or insensitive, certainly did not warrant such disproportionately severe and career-ending consequences. Conversely, an equally vocal and influential faction maintained that Behar was finally being held accountable for the cumulative impact of her own consistently reckless and often damaging public pronouncements, asserting that a long overdue reckoning was finally at hand. Meanwhile, behind the scenes at The View, utter chaos reportedly reigned. Producers were thrust into a frantic scramble to identify and secure a suitable replacement for Behar, a task that appeared almost insurmountable given her decades-long presence as a central and highly recognizable figure on the program. The very future viability of The View, once considered a daytime television institution and a dependable ratings draw, now hung precariously in the balance, leaving many within the industry to openly question whether the show itself could possibly withstand and recover from such a monumentally damaging and reputation-shattering scandal.
It's not. So first of all, and I have had my objections to the job that Karine Jean-Pierre did, but she worked in politics for 21 years, 5 presidential campaigns, and worked in 2 administrations.
I was stunned and amazed by his new White House spokeswoman today. She's actually the youngest ever in that job. Rowan, I couldn't do that at 27. No nonsense, straight to the point, courage, deep.
In the immediate aftermath of Behar's dramatic exit, The View found itself navigating uncharted and turbulent waters. The once stable ship of daytime television was now listing heavily, with internal sources describing a palpable sense of panic and uncertainty gripping the production. Ratings, typically a reliable metric for the show's performance, reportedly took a sharp and concerning downturn in the days following Behar's dismissal. Viewers, it seemed, were either tuning out in protest or perhaps out of sheer morbid curiosity to see how the show would cope without one of its most outspoken and recognizable personalities. Behind the scenes, the frantic search for a suitable replacement for Behar intensified. Producers reportedly cast a wide net, considering a diverse array of potential candidates ranging from seasoned journalists and political commentators to other established television personalities and even rising social media influencers. The challenge, however, was not simply to find someone to fill Behar's seat, but to find someone who could recapture the show's signature dynamic and chemistry, and perhaps even inject new energy to revitalize the ailing program. The pressure was immense, and the clock was ticking, as every day without a clear direction threatened to further erode viewer loyalty and advertiser confidence. The future of The View, once a seemingly unshakable institution, suddenly felt incredibly fragile and uncertain.
How well you can do your job, and the American people agree with that sentiment. So it's about competence, skill, and merit.
While The View grappled with its internal crisis, the question of Joy Behar's next steps hung heavy in the air. Following her highly publicized arrest and swift dismissal, Behar herself remained conspicuously silent, retreating from the public eye and offering no immediate statement or reaction to the unfolding events. Speculation ran rampant regarding her strategy. Would she maintain a low profile, focusing solely on her legal defense and hoping to weather the storm in private? Or was she perhaps quietly assembling a legal team to mount a vigorous counterattack, challenging her dismissal by ABC and potentially even countersuing Karoline Leavitt? Some industry insiders suggested that Behar might opt for a more public approach, perhaps granting an exclusive interview to a major news outlet to present her side of the story and attempt to regain some control over the narrative. Others believed she might double down on her characteristic outspokenness, framing herself as a victim of cancel culture and rallying her loyal fan base to her defense. The possibilities were numerous, and the silence from Behar and her camp only served to amplify the suspense. The entertainment world waited with bated breath, sensing that this drama was far from over and that Joy Behar, despite the setbacks, might still have another act to play in this unfolding saga. The Joy Behar scandal, however, transcended the immediate drama surrounding a single television personality and a struggling talk show. It ignited a broader and much-needed conversation about the pervasive influence of cancel culture in contemporary society, particularly within the entertainment industry and the realm of public discourse. Commentators and analysts dissected the incident, debating whether Behar's downfall represented a justified consequence for inappropriate remarks or an overzealous and disproportionate reaction driven by online outrage large mobs. The case also raised pertinent questions about the evolving landscape of daytime television and the increasing pressures faced by public figures to navigate an ever more sensitive and hyper-polarized media environment. Were the rules of engagement changing so rapidly that even seasoned professionals like Behar were struggling to adapt? And what did this entire episode signify for the future of free speech, accountability, and the delicate balance between expressing opinions and facing public repercussions? The Behar scandal became a lightning rod, illuminating deeper societal tensions and anxieties about the nature of public discourse in the digital age. As the legal battles played out and the media frenzy eventually subsided, the lingering questions and unresolved debates sparked by this controversy promised to continue shaping conversations about media responsibility, public accountability, and the ever-shifting boundaries of acceptable speech for years to come. So where does this leave Joy Behar as she confronts this multifaceted crisis? Will she be able to effectively mount a robust legal defense, successfully navigate the complexities of the defamation lawsuit, and somehow manage to salvage her severely tarnished public reputation and once thriving career? Or is this calamitous series of events, unfolding with breathtaking speed and dramatic intensity, truly signaling the definitive and irreversible end of an era for the consistently controversial and often outspoken television personality? And what about Karoline Leavitt, the catalyst for this entire media storm? Her calculated decision to aggressively pursue such a high-profile and potentially precedent-setting lawsuit has undeniably propelled her into the intense glare of the national spotlight, transforming her overnight into a figure of significant public interest and scrutiny. Will she ultimately prevail in the courtroom, securing a landmark legal victory? And what will be the enduring, long-term ramifications and consequences for her own burgeoning career trajectory, regardless of the trial's outcome? One definitive conclusion can be drawn with absolute certainty. This gripping saga, replete with unexpected plot twists and high-stakes drama, is demonstrably far from reaching its ultimate resolution. The intricate legal battles, the relentless media frenzy, and the cascading repercussions stemming from this explosive scandal will undoubtedly continue to dominate news cycles and capture public attention for weeks, if not months, to come. Now, turning the conversation over to you, our engaged viewers, we are genuinely interested in hearing your perspectives and opinions. Do you believe that Joy Behar ultimately deserved this dramatic and potentially career-ending fate? Was she unfairly and disproportionately targeted by a hypersensitive public and an unforgiving media environment, or were the ensuing consequences entirely justified and commensurate with the severity of her actions? We encourage you to share your thoughtful responses and insightful analysis in the comments section provided below. And before you go, please take a moment to show your support by liking this video, subscribing to our channel to stay informed, and activating the notification bell so you won't miss any of the crucial upcoming updates in this rapidly evolving and utterly captivating Hollywood scandal. Trust us, you absolutely will not want to miss what transpires next in this unfolding drama. Stay closely tuned for more jaw-dropping revelations and unexpected developments, because as unbelievable as it may seem, this is undeniably just the beginning of a much larger and even more complex story.